Okay, so today we're going to try and be looking at some of the games that I played some days back. Just trying to see how we can analyze them, because if we say we're going to play games now, it's going to be very difficult for us to actually get to where our targets easily. So instead, I'm going to try and go to the point whereby I started declining, my rating point started declining. So let's see. All right. Now if we go to our profile. Okay. Going to scroll all the way back. Scroll all the way back. Okay, so this is Ford. Okay. I think I might have gone too far. So I think this, yeah, as at this point, okay. Yeah, so we can actually start from here, and we can start from this point. As you can see, I've actually reviewed most of the games. I've actually analyzed the games, but I still just want to do some analysis. So I'm going to start from so this is page 2. I'm just going to start from the last games. We're going to do serious analysis on each game, and then let's see what we can get from 1 or 2 of the games coming. Okay, I actually went to grab my pen and paper. Okay, so let's see. Let me see. All right. So let's start by looking at this game. Let's start by looking at this game against a 2,195 rated player. So this was the point I almost got to 2,200. Okay. Taking me here. It's processing. Oh, play with 96% accuracy in this game. Wow. So I played e6, e3. This was probably an inaccuracy from my side. And I played d4. Okay. Probably I was trying to go pawn to e4 because this is something different from what I usually play. So after c5, yeah, I took, and the position was looking a little bit like the Caro-Kann exchange variation, right? If he had gone, let's say, pawn to d5, this would have looked like the Caro-Kann exchange variation, but we just kept on playing the French. This is like a typical setup that you have when playing Caro-Kann and French. So everything was okay. Castled. So this was an inaccuracy, and they said there was a better move. The best would have been rook to e1. Now, why was rook to e1 the best? Okay. Rook to e1. Maybe because it just placing the rook on the open file is a typical thing to do, right? Well, I didn't see it as a very bad move. So probably after rook to e1, knight still goes here, attacking the bishop, and we move back, and he goes here. So after this, he made a mistake. So probably this was the best move, attacking the bishop and maybe just exchanging the knight for the bishop. So, but instead he came here, attacked the bishop, he captured, and I captured. Now, he played rook there. So I'm guessing that was the only inaccuracy I made in the whole game. Just actually just basic moves that was played in this position. Okay, yeah, captured the knight and there was a pawn hanging. So this was the beginning of his demise. Okay. Doubled up, right? He captured, queen captures. He played this move, which was a blunder. Yep, and I spotted it. A brilliant move. Okay, so this was a checkmate. He had to, yeah, he just resigned here in 22 moves. This was how strong I was before. Dang. Okay, so we played well in this game. Let's look at the next game against, I can't pronounce his name. So same thing, going to the game review. Let's see where it takes us. So this game, I guess this game was lost. I lost this game, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I actually still won. I won. I wasn't having any losing position. Okay, he won. Sorry, I was black. He won the game. So I played badly in this game, probably from the opening. So let's we're going to learn a lot from this. So we played the Caro-Kann. He played. This setup is usually confusing me whenever my opponent plays pawn to f4. Whenever my opponent plays pawn to f4, it's I usually have difficult positions. Although let's see, after this I captured, everything was okay. Now bishop, it said I had slight advantage, probably because of my bishop activity. So my bishop had very much activity, both of my bishops, and probably, yeah, I think that was mostly the reason. So I came here. Yeah, so this was a passive move because he had a chance of doing an attack. So instead of there, they said you had a better way to develop your bishop and attack the center. So you allowed the opponents to attack the bishop with a pawn. and I was now losing tempo. So after this, I just pinned, which was another inaccuracy. So I was just supposed to castle. Why? Now he played this move. I did a check first of all. He moved this king, and I moved the bishop backwards. He came here. I think I played very passively in this game. I castled. He brought rook to the center, which is a very good move. Trying to take control of the open file. Move the queen away, but moving the queen actually to d7 was bad by me, right? I'm seeing it now because it slows down the development of my knight. Now, if my knight wants to develop, probably going to think of moving to this square, but it's not very good because the bishop can capture anytime. So, so let me see. Yeah, so instead of queen to d7, I should have actually gone queen to d6. So he made an inaccuracy. They said not the best move, but not the end of the world. Yeah, he carried on this. I took the knight, which was a great move, and I played this move, trying with the hope that if he captures, I capture back, check, and I also did this move, trying to see how I can create an opening for my knight. So I was thinking it was a good move, but I didn't know he had pawn push, right? So pawn push was actually much more better for him. Still slows down the development of my knight. So you can see how just this simple queen to d7 like is now very significant in the game. So yeah, so after this, bishop took, and the game was still equal, right? I did this check. The computer was saying it was bad, but I was thinking it was actually good, because after rook blocks, bishop takes check. He was not supposed to block with the rook. Wow, this move is crazy. That's true. Yeah. So if he had come to g3, right, I would have so I failed to see that my the other pieces that were under attack, right? So if this knight was actually developed at this point, it will have been much more better, because even though he goes to this square, right, even though he goes to g3, we could just move back with the queen to d6, but yeah, the position will still be complicated and bad for me. So after this, I did a check. He had to take with the queen. So taking back was not good, right? Firstly, because I now when I in my own opinion, right, probably there's a grandmaster that's watching this game now, who knows. So my analysis might be wrong, but I feel like the reason exchanging in this position was very bad, right, is majorly because if the queen goes back to d6 as they suggested. Now I have, like, it's a 4 pawn versus 3 pawns here, but I have a double pawn, which in the end game, if all of the pieces should disappear from, if all of the officers should actually leave this position, it's going to be very difficult for me to draw the game, especially because it's 2 against 3 on this side, right? I don't have any pass pawn. If this pawn was over here, then the fighting chances will have still been a little bit equal, right? But now he has more better chances of doing an attack. And also at the same time, my pieces were not developed, right? So I haven't still brought up my knight. My rook is still in the game, even though after one move I can do that, but he had control of the center and all, right? On his next move, he's probably planning on going here. So exchanging was definitely not the best move to do. And after this, I developed my knight. He attacked, right? Even myself to want to do that in this kind of position, right? Trying to get rid of the knight and getting the rook to e7, right, will have been a very good idea. So, but yeah, I think I played this, which was bad. I felt like this was much more better, because if this rook goes here, this other rook can now come to the center, but they said it was not a very good move. How about rook to c8? Yeah, rook to c8 will have been a very good move. I'm still down. I'm still losing by a slight advantage. Like I said, the major reason I'm losing is because of the pawn structure setup, right? If this pawn was on this, like something like this will have been much more okay, and it will have still been a draw, but it was just majorly because of the pawn structure. So I should also try and be more conscious about pawn structures and pawn setups. Let's see. I'll also try and be more conscious about pawn structures and pawn setups. Okay, now he played rook to e2. I took check. Hold on. And okay, he took back. Pawn takes, rook there, rook check. And I just got into the end game. We were still equally material, but like I said, pawn structure. Right, so and this disadvantage, I also had a disconnected pawn that was an easy point of attack. So it's going to be very easy for him to play the game, and I also exchanged rooks, which made it more complicated. So after this, it was just winning from him. So I probably was down on time at some point, but I missed a chance of doing a draw. Now, this is an endgame practice position for all of us, right? So let's try and find out what the best move will be. I haven't seen what the best move is going to be, but let's see. So they say the best move for him, instead of going here, will have been playing pawn push, right? This stops everything. So it could be this move. No. Right? I think in the game I captured. Yes, I played g times h4, so I could have done this. Yes, I could have actually done this. So let's see. If pawn had gone to f, right? If pawn had gone to f, f4, pawn captures back. Pawn captures back. Let's say. Then I capture this way. Yes. At the end of the day, he's actually going to be the one. So after pawn push, right? If he takes this way, then I take and he takes. So pawn to f4. If he takes, pawn takes, then he takes, then I take. He's going to be the one down the pawn. So probably I just misplayed this position. I could have actually, and this is one of the reasons why even when you're still losing, right? You should always continue. I think I won a game yesterday when I was losing badly. I was down the knights right from the opening, but I still eventually won, right? So, but yeah, exactly. This was the best move, right? So maybe I still remember the best move because I had analyzed the game already. So just try and analyze all of your games when playing. Let's see. After this, takes, king takes. Then takes this way, and king to g6, right? So it's not good because eventually, right? Yeah, I got into this position and it was completely losing. So the major points of concern was, first of all, the pawn structure that we had, right? So I can just like take notes of pawn structures, right? I'm going to write it down on my notes. Pawn structures, right? We're going to take note of our pawn structures, and let's see. After this, the next thing was in pawn endgames usually is a little bit difficult, right? And he was having almost +5 advantage, but there was still a point whereby he made a mistake. So it's very good that you try and analyze every possible move. So I could have gone pawn to f4 to try and save the position to be a draw, right? So in this position, a lot of people probably will consider taking, right? A lot of people will consider taking, or even king takes, right? I'm not sure if king takes is not going to be good also, because pawn takes, yeah. Now, so this move was a very good move, right? And this kind of position can actually still happen in I think I've experienced this. I've solved puzzles whereby most of the moves were similar to this, right? Whereby both of the pawns are attacking. If he takes this way, then we take this way, and actually now black is winning, right? Black is going to win the game. So it's something that we can consider. So at least we've gotten 1 or 2 from this game, right? Remember, always try to learn something from your games. And I think this was why I actually started declining, because I now started focusing more on playing. Right? When I was trying to improve, I was focusing more on learning 1 or 2 things, as my coach had said. So, but recently I just started playing a lot of games. Sometimes I could play like almost 10 to 15 a day, right? I was in my mind, I was trying to prepare for for a tournament, but it was actually not the best thing to do. I should have just kept on studying and trying to see how much information I can get before that particular time. So, yeah, so let's see. Let's look at the next game. So we're going to go back and look at the next game. The next game is going to be, yep, we've looked at this, we lost this game, but we won this game, although we played with 79% accuracy, meaning that the game was not very, very good at all. Okay, right. So yeah, so from the graph right here, I was white. I played with the white, and you can see I didn't actually have any bad position throughout the game. Although I still played with yeah, I still played with let me see. I wanted to see, yeah, played with 80% accuracy, and he played with 71. All right. Let's see then. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm back. All right. Now I was playing against a 2,271 rated player. I actually won this game. He played the Sicilian, I played the Alapin, right? So I actually learned this opening months ago. It was actually one of my students that usually played this opening, so I found it a little bit interesting because it usually transposes to like after pawn push, it usually looks like the advanced variation of the French defense, right? And of which I'm a little bit familiar with. I did a little bit of study on the advanced variation some years back, so it was very easy for me to adapt to the play. So after this, although the computer is saying it's an inaccuracy, interesting. Now the reason I actually like going pawn to e5, if anybody knows like or have an idea of what I can go and study, right, to improve this like this play, then that will help a lot. You can just drop it on the comment section, because I don't actually like playing this. Now the idea is after this I'm going to play pawn to d5, right? Definitely guessing I'm going to play pawn to d5. So pawn to d5, exactly. So the problem with this, right, is that now if queen takes or if pawn takes, right, it's it's saying it's equal, but I usually find it difficult to defend this one, right? So this is why I don't like getting into this position. But maybe there's a way I'm supposed to play this game, right? I think White majorly has an aggressive play because the bishops are all opened up, and White is just ahead in development. But I seriously don't like this play because something like this can eventually happen, which is, you can see they're all book moves, right? I've gotten into this kind of position, and most of the times I usually play something like this, and eventually it just becomes bad. Okay, it's actually correct. Okay, so usually I think knight goes here is still a good move. Yep, and we attack the queen. Queen moves back. Okay, queen pins the knight actually. Then we develop our bishop. Queen b3, I would never think of queen b3, but now I see it. So maybe I can start trying this against players that do the pawn. There was a break in transmission. I think the lights went off. The lights went off. Welcome to Nigeria, where you cannot fully. Welcome to Nigeria, where you cannot fully depend on NEPA. Okay. Yes, so we're back. So queen to b3 will have been a very good idea, or queen to b3 will have been a very good move. Instead, but in this position, I will have definitely tried and gone pawn push. But queen to b3 is an idea now. So queen to b3 actually attacks the pawn, and these moves are just strange, right? But I think I'm going to try this now that I know how to get out of the opening. Usually I find it very difficult to get out of the opening whenever I get to this exact setup whereby the pawn is isolated in the center. But now that I've looked at it, right, remember, this is why it's very important to look at your games. And if I had enough time, I could have actually written this down, right? This particular variation. I will have written it down and try to see. It's just writing it down helps me to remember it in some ways. So, but let's see. Let's go back to the main game. So after, yeah, I played e5 and then this, and you can see what I'm saying now. This looks like the Caro-Kann setup, but the advanced variation of the Caro-Kann, right? Because usually in the Caro-Kann the bishop is out, and it's not very difficult to play, right? So after this, he made a mistake. I have no idea why he played this, and I'm guessing that was why I won the game easily, right? So he didn't also capture. He allowed me to have a very central pawn, a very strong central pawn. And it was easy from here. I just played developing moves. Bishop here. Now, this is something I also need to try and start learning, because I always miss move like this. I actually feel like playing this is usually very bad for whites because this pawn now becomes weak. But or sometimes even after this, if I take, he takes, then I usually have like worse position. But I can start looking at something like this. Okay. So after this, he played pawn push. I attacked the queen. He blocked the bishop. This was very passive. Are you sure I'm the one that played this move? Jesus. Okay. This was very, very passive. I shouldn't have played this. I shouldn't have played this at all. Okay. So this also slows down the development of the knight and the bishop coming back. I should have just captured, I guess. No, it's saying going back to b3. Sorry, to e3. Why? And then king here. Okay. All right. Can you see the beauty of this kind of chess? King there. ah, if it wasn't this move, it will have definitely been this move that I would have probably gone for, which was also an inaccuracy. So both of them were inaccuracies. So majorly, this is much more better. Why is this much more better? That's the question I should ask. This is much more better. And I was scared of him trying to do a queenside attack. And it says I'm actually winning here. So pawn push, what if he tries to sacrifice a pawn? I take, he takes. So the idea is that this bishop is going to eventually serve as a pawn, and he also is not going to castle kingside, right? So his king is looking like, I doubt he's also going to want to castle queenside, right? So what if, okay, he can't move here because I have the, he can move here. Okay, let's say he goes here then, trying to bring his queen in. He wants to do a check, and I go back, and then probably pawn push. So moving out of the way. Let's say he still goes there anyway. Bishop blocks. No, bishop backwards. What if bishop goes to g3? It's a good move. This pawn push is always going to come, and we still have a little bit of advantage plus 1.5. So we're not going to spend much time on it. Let's see. So for this game, I can write looking at exchange and in the Alapin when opponents place Sicilian. Okay, so let's see. All right. Now after, yeah, let's go back to the main line. So this happened, and he played pawn to h4. I was still having plus 1.5. I was doing well throughout the game. Took, which was a mistake. I lost most of my advantage. So he was saying playing pawn push. Playing pawn push is a logical idea because nope. Playing pawn to h4 is a very logical idea because that way, if he decides to take, then I get to I get to stop any form of attack he has in my position, right? So unless if he tries to, let's say, do a double attack on the knight, wow. Play this, and the bishop takes, we take with the discovered check, king takes, and our knight gets a cool outpost attacking this, and a lot of things is going to happen. So this is another advantage of having your opponent's king stuck in the center. And usually most of the games that I've looked at in the advanced variation of the French defense, right, the kings don't actually even castle. So it's actually very tricky for black to play the position, I feel, right? It's actually very difficult for black to play the position, but sometimes it's black usually have a little bit of advantage, because I remember very strongly I lost the game, although it was just end game play. I got to move 30 and the position was completely equal, but I misplayed it in the tournament. I played the advanced variation and my opponent played the French. So it was not bad. It was not bad, but I just decided to switch from playing the advanced. So instead of the advanced, I usually play the I started playing the exchange variation, and then I was advised to switch to the Tarrasch variation, or yes, the classical variation, which is knight c3 instead. So even at this mistake, I was still winning. Yeah, I eventually got this move, right? I eventually got this move at the wrong time. I was supposed to play this first of all, so this pawn move was very necessary to stop his his pawn advance, right? So I did this, and he played there. I took. Now I was supposed to play a4. I've seen this kind of position a lot. He can't play this because after this, queen has to take. Queen has to take. If pawn takes, he loses his rook. So this is going to be an inaccuracy by him. In this position, he has to either castle, or I feel he can actually still take. I feel he can still take. Let's see. Taking is a mistake. Oh, yes. Okay, taking is a mistake. It loses the defender of the pawn, which also I also need to be very careful also, and also try and look at every piece that is being protected by the same piece, by my same piece, and other stuffs. Let's see. So I kind of gave him a little bit of advantage along the line, just a little. This is minus 0.44, and I was just playing very calmly. I didn't want to risk anything. That was why I was just playing this way, because I had a lot of advantage, and knowing how to go about this advantage is also very, very important, as the people I'm going to be meeting in the tournament I'm trying to also prepare for. Any slight advantage is what they're going to use against you. So if you can't use the same advantage that you're getting, then there's no point. Okay, after this, I brought my knights in, pawn push. Pawn push was not the worst move, but they say your better option was to move the queen to a more active square. Just by moving it one step up. True, I can see something, and it also stops our opponent rook from getting into our second rank. So it's definitely much more active there, and yeah. So after this, I moved backwards. A great move. Now the idea was to try and reroute the knight and do a fork on these two pieces, right? So he doesn't have pawn push. I still went there anyways, and he protected the pawn, which is an inaccuracy. Now I probably brought my queen up. Okay, I play rook to b1. Okay, yes, gaining control of the open file. If he tries to, yep, now I have a double attack on the pawn. I got the pawn, and it was just very raw tactical play that I used to eventually win the game. So I think this game was I played the game a little bit well. I just didn't capitalize on the opening advantage that I had, right? So let's see. So whenever my opponent is advancing, I can always use my king's pawn also to do a defense if he doesn't have if he doesn't have much options of castling queenside. Okay, sorry, I just got onto the chat now, and some people have been following. Okay. Hi, Hakim. Magnus in the building. Whoa, I wish it was Magnus. So after this, everything is okay. Okay, so I was trying to see, so the major thing is whenever my king is in the center, so I can write it down also. So when my king is in the center, when my opponent's king is in the center and doesn't have much option of castling queenside, queenside, right, I could use my king pawns to protect. Now this might be a wrong analysis by me. Like I said, anyone that has something to do to advise or recommend, then just feel free to give me a hint or a tip. Okay, now lastly, yeah, it's just mostly this move that has been suggested for a long time that I always missed. But when he made a slight inaccuracy, funny thing is that I played this move at the wrong time. So I had a chance of going knight here, and if he moves back, no, not pawn push. Pawn push loses. Okay, now I can now go knight here, so it will have been much more better, but I followed a different pattern. So it means that I will have, if there's a chance of doing a forcing move and still resulting in the same position that you will have gotten, it's best to play the much more forcing move, right? That's going to be too long for me to write for. I'm just going to try and grab it. So not any single day that any single game that you play, right? It's advice you analyze it. It's advice you analyze every single game that you play, and the major reason is because especially if you're looking to improve, or unless you're looking to have fun, right? You can play as much games as you can, and you're going to end up frustrated like me at some point. So just analyze every single game that you're playing, and you're going to actually see the results within a very short period of time, right? Like knowing where your mistakes are from and trying to correct them, right? And okay, so let's see. So we played the game well. Now let's look at the next game. Which is the next game now? Is it this? Okay, so let's look at this game. Okay, so pawn push. I played the Caro card a lot these days, and okay, so I lost the game recently whereby I played this opening very badly, which is very weird. I wouldn't have actually made a mistake like this, but I don't know what came over me. So, but let's see. Yeah, this is theory, right? I also play this setup as white. Whenever my opponent plays, whenever I choose to play the exchange variation, now I shouldn't have captured. Capturing was a very bad move, or it was not recommended. Instead of capturing, I should have just gone bishop backwards. Now, why bishop backwards? What if he just castles? And bishop goes to d6. The rook goes here. Yeah, we could also still go here, but castling, don't want to leave the king in the center. And then, so it's say we have a little bit of advantage. It's going to eventually go here and go here. So, well, let's see. Yep. So we took, and the position was still equal a little bit. We just played basic moves. Now, going here was not the best move. Attacking the bishop first. If he decides to move backwards, then you do a double pawn push. Okay. Let me see. Okay, give me a second. Sorry about that. Sorry. So everything I was saying, Jesus. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot to. I forgot to. I forgot to turn on the mic. But I guess you can hear me now, right? You can hear me. Now let's look at the next game. Let's look at the next game. So I analyzed this game where it was 2008, and the next game I lost. I played with 67% accuracy. $69. Okay, I played this move. He played Alakine's defense. Yeah, I was supposed to attack the knight. What if he had captured? Then attack this knight. Wowzy. And he will have lost a piece. Wow. This is the first time I'm actually looking at this. Okay, so, and after this, yeah, attack. Yeah, so yeah, attack, and if he takes this pawn, so I'm sacrificing basically 2 pawns to get a knight and an open position, right? His knight is going to still be hanging. If he moves back this way, I have a very aggressive position that's definitely going to eventually result in a win. So I missed something like that, and I just kept on playing developing moves. I was still winning in the opening. Don't know how I misplayed the game. Played bishop to d7, bishop, yeah, just developing. Queen here trying to protect the pawn, right? One of the major things you're going to see people within my rating usually doing is they usually respond to threat, right? So now one of them, I saw a post today, right? One of my mentors, right, posted something. It was a chess post, and he was like, let me see, let's give me a second to get it. Okay, so he posted it, he made a post, and it was actually Magnus that was speaking. He said very weak players don't see threats, like very weak. So for instance, some players actually in this position, after knight goes to a5, they don't actually see that the pawn on c4 is hanging, right? They would see that the pawn on c4 is being double attacked, and that's like a sign of a very weak player. And then the second set of category of people are, okay, weak players. Now we were talking about very weak players. Now weak players only see the threat, right? They only see threats, and they don't have time to plan, or they are not strong enough to find plans of their own, right? So you're just always responding to your opponent's threat and hoping that he makes a blunder, right? So that's like my category. That's where I find myself at. But and this was Magnus talking, so it means that, funny enough, Magnus might be referring to grandmasters that are within, let's say, 2,500, or players that are within 2,400, not even players within where I'm struggling at right now. So it's something that it's very, very important that you take note of it. Let's see. Which strength? Okay, so after this, we kept on playing simple moves. This was wrong. The best option was to win a tempo by threatening the rook. Okay, for him. And this was a mistake. The best was to attack a pawn chain, right? Trying to create a break over here. Why? If he takes. Oh, this is interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Um, so we could still consider. Let me just have a moment to look at this position so I won't miss it when I get to this kind of position. So yeah. So, but I was doing very well throughout the opening. You can see throughout the opening, I was having all the advantage. Where did I now miss it? Where did I miss it? Where did I miss it? Okay, so here, he castled opposite side, and they said opposite side castling by opponent. Sharp game. That's what happened. Sharp game. Now my advantage is gone, and now the position is equal. Plus 0.86. Computer is saying it's equal. Now, wow. So after this, which was an inaccuracy by him, I captured this bishop doing a double attack. You're threatening to eventually win a queen, right? By revealing a check and attacking a piece. So if I take this way, right, he has to move the king, and then I come back. For the beginner players that don't know what I'm saying, like Begatti. Okay, so after pawn push, right, takes, then I attack the knight. Okay, this was a very good move also. And then attack the knight. And how did I lose this game? Did I lose on? Oh. Yes, I always, any game that I lose is always because of time trouble. I think during this period, most of the games I was losing was because of time pressure. Like for example, I have 2 minutes now. I was still doing well, right? He eventually made a blunder, right? Exchanging rooks in this position whereby I could have had. How did I even think of this move? I will always play this move. So, but I would have had a much more better position if I had, let's say, just maintained what I had. So I ended up. I was having +4 advantage here, but I now lost the game on time. I was having 48 seconds, and you know how network is in this place. So eventually I lost the game. I just made some blunders. He also made a blunder and eventually resulted back in a drawish position. But yeah, it was just losing from here. And yeah, I just resigned. Don't ask me why I did not resign. Sorry, don't ask me why I resigned. Sorry. I just resigned. So what was the major thing we were supposed to get from this game? What was the major thing? It's time management. I think we played the opening very well, right? Because we were dominating throughout the opening. We missed some advantages that we had. So we played some passive moves again in the opening, right? Why is this move? Why did I even think of this move? Oh, I was trying to stop the fork, right? You can see we always miss. We always, according to Carlson, right? We always don't look at what always don't go about our plans. Most of the times we try and look at what our opponent is planning and then, or what is threatening, and then try to find a solution to it instead of looking at our plan. So now we don't want to be the weak player that Magnus was talking about. So always try to look for plans of your own. Always try to look for plans of your own. Yep. And after this, yeah, we just came back. The game was very, very calm and good. I played 40 moves just to lose. Very frustrating. This game was 58 moves. I was white. I was white. I was with the white pieces. Okay. Pawn to e4. Classic move. This. No, this was the game I just finished analyzing. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so let's see. I play with 76% accuracy in this game. Okay, I played the fantasy variation. Okay, yes, I know that. Okay, if my opponent plays this, yeah, after this, if they usually go here pawn to c5, um and white is winning. So but I should have actually considered that, because most people actually don't like moving backwards, right? If they move backwards, I usually pull pawn push, but it's an inaccuracy. I'm still just supposed to develop the attack. Ignore an attack. Okay, he defends with his bishop. We can do a bishop exchange. Queen takes, and then yeah, threaten this. He castles. Wow, this is a very interesting line, because I usually face this a lot against the Caro-Kann. Yeah, against the Caro-Kann when I play the fantasy variation. So, but okay, let's see our opening. Our opening was very simple until we made a blunder. He permitted the opponent to win material through a fork. Where was the fork? Yep, there. And we lost our rook. But we still won the game. We still won the game, right? You can see, even though he was up material, I had a lot of play on the king side, right? This bishop is eyeing this way and this. So why would he even think of castling? I could easily just come into the game. And he castled, right? And I moved in and he came here, giving me chance. I did a double attack on the rook and on the pawn. So he played this, I took the rook, and after this I came back. And this is why it's very important for you to spot, or to be very good at tactics, to spot opportunities like this. And after everything, I just exchanged and we got into this position. The game was still on. Okay. He sacrificed eventually, and yeah, after this, knight's check, knight here, smothered mate, boom. Okay, no, checkmate actually, not smothered mate. Okay. Now let's look at another game. Let's look at this game where we lost in 32 moves. Hopefully I didn't have a bad opening, did I? Yep, had a bad opening. Or middle game. That was like moves 11. Bad opening. Wait, it was even the Italian game. Yeah, so I was not supposed to take this. He had this move. No. Oh, that was what he played. So it's saying you should have done a check first. Yep. Doing the check. And then if we block, he takes us check again. Knight takes backwards, then he does a pawn fork. Well, we're losing from this game, so yep. We still put up a little bit of fight. Okay. Okay, check. Move here. And he did a checkmate. I was down a queen, but I still played till the end. So you guys are seeing. Okay, so I think we're going to play like 3 or 4 or 5 games, right? And then I'm going to still take a rest, and then we continue. We've analyzed at least 5 games, and we're still going to analyze a lot of games. I think I've just been mostly playing at the wrong time, so let me grab some water and let's play some chess. Hi, Festival. Festival is here. Shout outs to Festival. Thanks for always being um thanks for always being in the stream. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to play some games now. I'm up and ready. Today is going to be different from yesterday. My opponents are going to collect. Like they are going to collect Woto Woto. Okay. Who is this dude looking like Epstein? Okay. um Wolf scratch. Let's not scratch the wolf. Okay. Our opponents, the wolf scratch door, scratch the board. Okay, game is going to be aborted. Wolf scratch, no scratch board. Wolf. Let's play new one. Okay. So which opening? Someone should suggest an opening that I should play before the next game starts. Which opening should I play? Which opening should I play? Don't know why it's taking time. Was he sending a rematch? Let me see. Yeah. We'll just go over here. Start the game. Let's get our opponents. They're actually refusing to PM with anybody. Don't know why. They don't want to PM you. Well, we're going to try our best and see. Finally, they paired me with someone from Georgia. Nguzo, whatever his name is. Yay. Okay. Sorry. of my opponents not refusing to play. You want me to play my viewers? I'm here for grind rating. I want grind rating. You want chop my rating? You want chop my rating? Nice one, nice one, nice one. Was the game aborted? What is happening to all of these people? Oh, wow. I beg, play, please. Finally. Nice one, Begati. You want to chop my rating? Don't worry, when you get to 2-1, I'll play you. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. You gotta get to 2-1 first. Okay, so we're going to play. I usually play the Friday Live against this. Yeah. I usually play the Friday Live against this variation. So most of the best move is actually going pawn push, right? After pawn push, see now that means say I go lose. Now you know. Now you go lose. Now you go lose. Oh, I don't want you to start crying. You know that if I start playing, you're going to start crying. Okay, this is actually my elder brother. That I taught him how to play chess. So he's telling me that I'm going to lose if I play against him, but are you sure you want to? You cannot play me. See, my opponents are fearing to play me. My opponents are literally fearing to play against me right now. So you don't stand a chance. It's my opponent's turn to move now. He has no played. Now stop yapping. Okay. This should be enough advantage for us to win this game. He's already 1 minute behind. So let's capitalize on this advantage. Let's capitalize on this advantage. Beep, beep. Okay. Just watch Begati. Just watch and see how I'll get to 2,200 with ease. You understand that the kind of moves I'm playing is not within your level. So sorry, man. Sorry. Just kidding, man. Before you come for my life. No come for my life, I beg. Please, everybody that is watching, make sure you have subscribed. If not, I will come for your life. Yeah, he's playing the Traxler counter gambit. Now, the best move in this position is actually bishop takes. I beg you, before I go misclick now, go start the cry. It's actually bishop takes, and after king moves, bishop back. But I recently went over this variation with one of my students, right? Let's see how far I can remember the position. So this queen goes there. Knight takes, pawn push. Now you can't take bishop, right? You can't take with the bishop because bishop usually goes to g3. Sorry, bishop usually goes to g4, right? Bishop usually goes to g4, attacking the queen, right? Pawn takes. Pawn takes is not a bad idea. Yeah, pawn takes. I usually go pawn takes. And then from here, I usually get confused or like, so what is your happy? What am I going to play? I think it's usually pawn push. This pawn push I'm saying. Why did I even play that move, safe? Now, wow. Okay, let's kick this knight. Yep, we have bishop check. Sorry, queen check, queen check. Blocks with the bishop. Oh, wow, for this guy. Where you won't make her go now. Okay, let me go back. Let him come and check me now. Ah, this guy wants draw. Jesus. This guy wants draw. Cody. Hi, Cody. Okay. I don't have any drip. It's just a cap, man. This dude wants to draw. My problem is that he has. I messed up the position. I messed the position up. So let's see if it's going to go for the draw. What? How? Why? Why? Check. Shea and Nufi attack the rook now. I'm up +6. Attack the rook. Where the rook fit go? That knight is going to be dead anyway. So let me play here. If he goes pawn push, if he goes pawn to d5, so he could have actually. He could have. Okay, you want to challenge me? Alright, you can actually set a challenge. Although I wanted to do a grind, my brother over there wanted to play me, but I declined. His rating is about 2,000. Well, if you want, you can actually still send a challenge, but it's probably just going to be one game, right? And then we're going to see how the game is going to be. But you can send a challenge. Okay. All right. Although, okay, I remember you told me that you've been playing mostly Bliss recently. Now, I want to just do this. I'm going to still, yeah. So at least this gives me a little bit of time. Yeah. Is this something I should be afraid of? Take, he comes in with the knight. Whoa. Come on. This is my king. Can fly, is flying places right now. Let's go here. Oh, this position is not going to surprise me. I better go. All right. So after you review the game, you can send a Blitz challenge. I need to develop my pieces. What are his possible threat? He's trying to. Two of my pieces are under. One of my pieces under attack. Why don't I do a check? Okay. Now my piece is under attack. Okay. Suddenly we have equal time. So what am I going to play now? I think I wasted the move. I'm still up 3 points. I just need to find a way to develop. So let's go here. Pawn to a4. Now I can attack the bishop to move out of that file. Although, was this a good move? He has rook takes pawn. Rook takes pawn. Oh, he had rook takes pawn. This is bad. This is bad. He has to exchange now. If he takes this, I just do a check. Yeah. So we're definitely winning this game now. Full assurance has got him back. Unless he has one kind of move. But he should have. This was a very bad move. Why will he even go here? Now he can't move this rook away because I have a check. I have a check on e8. Rook to e8. I don't even know the rating of the opponents I'm playing. Maybe it's the 2-1 rated player. Who knows? Okay, let's see. I would love to know the rating that what his rating is. Yep. Now I will have attacked the rook with my bishop, but he has check that I don't want to experience. So we can attack this pawn over here that is not going to be protected. He takes this pawn. Yeah, this is more important. He can have all the pawns he wants there. Right. And let's stop him from doing any future checks. We just push the pawn down. The queen. Dude should just resign. First of all, he started this game giving me time advantage. So what did he expect? He should have probably. I feel like he's way rated than me because I was actually satisfied with a draw, but he kept on pushing because in this position, if we move back in this position, right? Why in the world would you play pawn push? This was very bad, right? So we're going to do an analysis on the game, and you're going to definitely see what I was saying. Yeah, so pawn push. Now no way he's winning this. Check. Okay. Let's attack this. Let him not even attack my rook. If he attacks my rook, he's still dead because I just go rook back. Very good. Now, let's go here. He's going to go here. Yep, I expected that. Check. And now we can actually play this. Or we can attack his bishop. Okay, so we're definitely going to win this one. You can see I play very well when network is good. It was network that was messing me up yesterday. And I was a little bit stressed out also. So let me see. Begati, are you still in the chat? Or have you gone to grind? Okay. Yeah. My opponent resigned. Time to find out what the rating of this dude is. His 2282. Wow. Okay, I can see Cody wants to be friend. I still played the position badly. Okay. Let's look at the game and see where we made the mistakes. Spawn the hair. The opening was good. Right here. This was theoretically like this. I know this position. Right take. I knew the position till this point. Yeah, this move was yes. I got this move. Pawn to d6. He took. And I was supposed to take the bishop. If pawn takes bishop, I was thinking it was going to have this check, right? But oh, I moved to the side of the board, and oh, and after this, I just moved queen here, and there's no check. What if he takes this? Oh, dude is going to be smoked. And after this, just play pawn push, I guess. Yes, pawn push. He has to force the queen exchange, if not, he's going to get smothered. And after this, we don't even do an exchange, we just keep on developing, right? If he captures, no way. Check. He moves this way, we do a fork, right? He protects, we do a knight check. He goes up, we do a bishop check. Yeah, this is so bad for black. And then we can actually even do this move. Like, what is he even playing for? Yeah, so this was what would have happened. We played it very correctly till move 10. So move 10 gave him an advantage, and he played the best move. Right, this was what I was saying. Okay, so he came back, he still did the same move, and this was wrong. Now, what would have been his best move? So instead of this, like just moving the king away, this is a checkmate threat right here. Okay, no, he has a bishop. Sorry, I have a bishop, not he. So after this, came back, and I was hoping like I said, I was hoping he'll go for a draw, right? I didn't actually even know he was higher rated than me. If not, I would have actually wanted a draw. So, but I just played this, and from an equal position, right? I wanted to do this exchange because I just felt it was okay, right? His position was good. Well, he started making some inaccuracies. Yes, in this position, I was considering going pawn push. That would have actually been much more better for me. But I made a mistake, and after this, I just played good moves. Okay, so yes, I missed this, right? I missed this. I would have played this first of all. So, but I played this, eventually this, and then he made a mistake. And this was the point whereby I spotted the blunder. So I still played a little bit badly in the opening, right? I just got into a theoretical opening whereby I didn't know the main lines, but now we know, right? So once we get to this position, right, after queen takes, yeah, after pawn sacrifice, right, pawn takes, then we take this way, and if he ever does a check, we just move towards the edge of the board, and if he goes pawn push, we do a check, sacrificing our bishop. Well, it was suggested. How is it an inaccuracy? Something has to be wrong with this ancient. And then we play this prophylactic move, stopping the knight from going here. But he still has this move. Like, this position is very crazy. Now, wow. Okay. All right, Cody, you can send the challenge. Okay, Cody. I'm waiting for your challenge. So we're just going to play. So I'm playing against Cody. Well, I can't see you in the game. Okay. Yep. Just got in. My very, very good friend. Okay. So he's playing the Sicilian. Remember, we just did an analysis of the Alapin's counter defense. So let's see. We're going to play this, not minding the fact that we're going to end up with a central pawn, depending on what he plays. I just hope he's not watching my stream trying to see. Okay. I could take. I want to take. Right. And then I also want to take, but let's just develop our pieces. No need to rush. Okay. Okay, the network is pretty good today, unlike yesterday. So doing a bishop check, just mainly trying to develop it a tempo, castles. Don't try this at home, guys. Don't play as fast as I'm playing. Okay, so he hasn't castled, which is a little bit off, and I feel it's something we can capitalize on. So we take, he captures with the knight. Let's just get our rook to the center. Now, if he develops the knight, it's going to be too late for him to castle. Because if he castles, if he goes knight out, I just go queen to e2. If he captures my pawn, I just... Yeah, if he captures the pawn, I just go knight takes, threatening to go either here. Yep. And who knows, even the smothered mate can happen. But I know I know he's way ahead of me, probably seeing everything that I'm thinking of. Yep. Do 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 do. And you can see he started very well, right? The game is good. The only problem is he he made a lot of pawn pushes, right? That led to you made a lot of pawn pushes that led to your position slowly getting cramped, right? And it's what I'm going to use against you right now. Okay. So um he made a move. Guys, he made a move. We're just trying to see how we can develop with tempo. So I'm going to go here. Oh, it's true. Sorry. Uh, okay. I actually forgot. Yeah, that's true. So I'm actually playing with one of my students, also, and a very good friend. Yeah. He has always wanted me also to do more of this and share with him. Okay. Well, develop, develop with a tempo is what we gotta do. Okay. I now feel like the move I made was a little bit passive. Okay. Let's take. Even though I think taking is a little bit passive. And then we go pawn push. Okay. I'm gonna take without hesitation because now I can bring my rooks into the attack. So Let's go here. Lastly here. Okay. I'm just going to try and capitalize on the advantage that I have, of which his king is not as safe as mine. Yes, I actually won against that 2-4. Thank you. Um, it means that our task of getting to where we want is not impossible, right? So something that is very easily achievable if we put our mind to it. Um, okay. Okay. And now your king side is very, very exposed, and it's going to be a major problem for you. It's going to be a serious problem. Okay. Going queen to b2. Okay. Is he trying to run? Bro, are you trying to run? There's no running. But okay. We have an attack on his king. We want to make sure that we keep the king caged. Okay, is there any tactics here? Let's say I go check. He moves here. I go check again. He moves back. Let's see. check. Yep. And now I can move my knight in. If I move my knight in, attacking his rook. Or we can just I want to do a check. So I could go rook in, knight in. Hope it's not a blunder. Okay. Okay. Now my knight is hanging. Going to protect it by going here. Nah, bro just checkmated himself. Okay. Bro just checkmated. Okay, it's not. Yeah, it's a checkmate. Bro checkmated himself. So sorry, bro. Taking with the pawn is also a checkmate. A very cool checkmate. Okay. Nice game. Let's just do a review of the game so you see where you made a mistake. GG, GG. Yep, I play with 78% accuracy. How? Okay. After this, everything was okay. Castled. And this wasn't, I was actually supposed, I always miss this move. Okay. So, but I was still having, yeah, I knew this move was a little bit passive, right? This move has been there ever since. And it will have started, like I will have started the attack a whole a while ago. Yeah, you play with 70% accuracy. Oh, you did well. It's not bad. I also played badly very well. Like I played badly. After this, right? So in this position, I was supposed to do a knight sack. I knew it. I knew this knight sack was good. Queen takes. But I just couldn't prove it. Yeah. So after this, you have to sacrifice your. Okay, this rook is much more better. You have to sacrifice your knight. Oh, interesting. So this is what will have happened, but we chose the easy and simple route. Yep, did this. I decided to, instead of going there, to avoid any form of checkmate, mate into didn't miss it for the world. Okay, You actually did well. Now let's get back to our grinding. Let's get back to our grinding. So remember, we said we're going to play 5 games. So we've played 2, and we played 1, and we won. So we're playing the Karuka now. Don't know the rating of our opponents right now, so but let's just see how the game is going to go. No problem. You're welcome, Cody. Anytime. Okay, so he's playing the main line of the Karukan. Yeah, they usually sacrifice the knights over here. And like I played the game yesterday and I was confused. And this is why it's very important to do an analysis, because you always get into the same position. I got into the same position. I saw that this was not actually. Is this good? It has to be. It has to be. It takes the bishop, I take his rook. Oh. Bro wants to do a checkmate, so he has queen check. D takes his Magnus. He has queen check over here. And the only square we have is... So we will first of all stop the queen check from happening. His rook is still hanging, so is this pawn. And the pawn is always going to be captured, so no need to... Let's stop most of his threats from happening first of all. So knight to D stops him from going knight to E5. I can take now, right? If I takes, he's planning on going... He wants to attack me with the bishop. But I have this check. Probably didn't see it. We're actually equal in material. The only difference is that both of us can't castle right now. Check. Now if I go here, he can do a knight sack. A rook sack. So let's be careful. Why don't you attack the bishop? I don't like the fact that our king is here. So probably bring it the king this way, this way. Why? Oh, no. No. I was thinking it was going to go here. It's fine. He's just of one piece. No need to panic. Darn it. I should have seen that coming. Let's go here. Yes. Yeah. He blundered a piece. What? He has this check. Trying to do a comeback. No. Okay. So let's look at the game. He was actually 2,200. This takes. Yeah, this is always a blunder. I should have just moved bishop back. So bishop e4. Okay, bishop e4 will have been best. Do the attack on the rook. We can go bishop to h7 after f3. And after bishop check, we can play pawn push. And then slowly improve our position. So, yep, this was where I made the blunder from, but I think I thought I was actually even winning. I didn't see this move at all. This position, I was actually winning. So this is the practice position for me, guys. I'm supposed to play this position and still be able to win. E6 will have been the best move for me here. He doesn't have any square that he could have even come to. After this check, I just move up. And the position is equal. I even have more slight advantage. Okay, didn't play the game very well. We shouldn't have exchanged pieces also. Okay. So we'll stop from here and continue later. All right, guys. I'm going to see you in the evening.